Narendra Modi's story begins in a small, quiet town called Vadnagar, far away from the busy cities of India. It was not a rich place. The streets were narrow, the houses were simple, and life was slow. But inside one of those simple homes lived a young boy who carried big dreams in his heart. Narendra was born into a hard-working family. They did not have much money, but they had strong values. His father ran a tiny tea stall near the train station. Every morning, before the sun came up, the smell of hot tea filled the cold morning air. Trains whistled in the distance, and travelers moved quickly across the platform. At the age of 8 or 9, Narendra already understood responsibility. While many children slept late, he woke up early to help his father. He boiled water, washed cups, and served tea to passengers. His small hands moved fast, and he never complained. But Narendra was not only a working boy. He was also a curious learner. After helping at the tea stall, he went to school. The school building was old, and the classrooms were crowded. But Narendra listened carefully to every lesson. His teachers said he had sharp eyes and a strong memory. His world was small, but his imagination was large. When trains stopped at the station, he watched them with wonder. He saw people traveling from faraway places and thought, one day, I want to see the world too. Sometimes he sat alone near the tracks and dreamed about the future. He did not know exactly what he wanted to become, but he felt a powerful energy inside him. He believed that even a poor boy from a small town could rise and do something important. Life was not easy. His family struggled many days. They saved every coin and lived simply. But the difficulties taught Narendra something valuable. Real strength comes from hard work, patience, and courage. Those early mornings at the tea stall, the long walks to school, the quiet dreams by the train tracks, these moments shaped the little boy who would someday step onto the world stage. But for now, he was just Narendra, a child with hope, fire, and determination. As Narendra Modi grew older, his curiosity became even stronger. Vadnagar was a small place, but he wanted to understand the big world outside. He listened to stories from travelers at the train station. Some talked about big cities, some talked about mountains, and some spoke about important leaders who changed their countries. Narendra listened carefully. Every story opened a new window in his mind. He also liked to read. Books were not easy to find, and his family could not buy many. So Narendra borrowed books from friends, teachers, or the small library in town. He read about heroes, brave soldiers, freedom fighters, and great thinkers. These stories filled him with excitement. In school, Narendra was not the top student, but he had a deep interest in learning. He asked many questions. His teachers often said, Narendra wants to understand everything. He also joined a small youth group in his community. The group taught children about discipline, teamwork, and helping others. They also did small activities like cleaning streets, planting trees, and helping during festivals. Narendra enjoyed these activities a lot. It made him feel useful, like he could make life better for people around him. Outside of school, Narendra continued helping at the tea stall. Life was still simple. They did not have fancy clothes or big meals, but the family supported each other. They believed in honesty, service, and hard work. Sometimes Narendra sat with his father at night. The lantern light flickered as his father shared wisdom. In life, his father said, success comes step by step. First you learn, then you grow. These words stayed in Narendra's heart. He started to notice the problems around him. The poor families, the lack of clean water, the limited opportunities. He wondered, what can I do for people? How can I help my town? How can I help my country? Little by little, a dream began to form in his mind. He wanted to serve. He wanted to lead. He wanted to make a difference. He didn't know how he would do it, but he felt that the world was calling him. And Narendra Modi was ready to answer. When Narendra Modi reached his teenage years, he felt a strong change inside him. He was no longer a small boy helping at the tea stall. He was now a young man with a growing mind, a restless heart, and a deep desire to find his purpose. But finding purpose is never easy. At home, life was still difficult. The family worked hard every day just to survive. Money was tight. Opportunities were few. Many boys his age already decided what they would do. Some joined family businesses, some worked in shops, some planned to get married early. But Narendra did not want a simple or predictable life. There was a voice inside him saying, "You are meant for something more." He often walked alone through the streets of Vadnagar, thinking deeply. He looked at the people around him, the workers, the farmers, the shopkeepers. Everyone was busy fighting their own battles. Narendra wished he could help them all. One day, he visited a nearby town for a school trip. There he saw a small group of volunteers cleaning a public area and helping poor families. He watched them with interest. They looked disciplined, organized, and dedicated. Narendra felt a spark inside his heart. He thought, "I want to serve people too. I want to learn how to help my country." Slowly, he became more active in youth groups and community activities. He joined events at clean public places, helped during festivals, and supported the poor. Narendra liked this feeling, the feeling of doing something meaningful. During this time, he also became more spiritual. He began to visit temples, read religious and philosophical books, and think about the purpose of life. He wondered what God wanted him to do. One day, when he was around 17, Narendra made a brave decision, a decision that shocked his family. He told them he wanted to leave home for some time, not to run away, not to escape, but to search for answers. His mother looked at him with worried eyes. His father stayed silent for a long moment. Finally, they understood that Narendra's dreams were bigger than their small town. So with a few clothes in a small bag and a heart full of hope, he left Vadnagar. He traveled across different parts of India, staying in temples, talking to monks, and helping people wherever he could. This journey changed him. It made him stronger, quieter, and wiser. It taught him discipline, sacrifice, and service. When he finally returned home, he was no longer just Narendra. He was a young man with a mission. When Narendra Modi returned home after his long journey across India, he felt different. He was calmer, stronger, and more focused. He had seen many people, many problems, and many ways of life. He understood how much his country needed honest and dedicated leaders. He knew one thing for sure. His purpose was to serve people. After coming back to Vadnagar, he didn't return to a normal life. Instead, he joined a local volunteer organization that focused on helping communities. The group was disciplined and worked like a family. They trained young people to become responsible, courageous, and helpful members of society. Narendra worked with great energy. He woke up early, planned his tasks, and worked all day with full focus. He led small teams, visited villages, and helped solve simple problems like clean water, electricity issues, and school needs. The people liked him. He was humble, respectful, and always ready to help. He also became a strong speaker. Whenever there were small meetings or events, Narendra spoke with clarity and confidence. His words were simple, but they touched people's hearts. He spoke about hard work, unity, and love for the country. Soon his reputation grew. Village leaders began to notice him. Community members listened to him. Young people followed him. Even though he was still very young, people saw leadership in him. They felt he truly cared about their lives. During this time, Narendra worked in many different areas. He helped organize flood relief when rivers overflowed. He brought food and medicine to affected families. He trained young volunteers to manage crowds, support the injured, and provide comfort to people in pain. These experiences shaped him in a powerful way. He learned that real leadership is not about power. It is about service. It is about helping someone when they need you the most. Narendra also became more disciplined. He followed a strict daily routine, waking up early, exercising, reading, planning, and working. He used his time wisely and never wasted a day. People around him started saying, "This young man will go far. He is different." Narendra didn't think about fame or position. All he wanted was to do good work and serve more people every day. But soon, bigger responsibilities were coming his way, responsibilities that would slowly push him toward a national stage. As the years passed, Narendra Modi continued working across villages, towns, and communities. Everywhere he went, he brought the same energy, helping people, solving problems, and inspiring young volunteers. His dedication was impossible to ignore. Slowly, Senior leaders in his organization began to trust him with bigger responsibilities. At first, they asked him to manage small groups. Then they asked him to plan events. Soon, he was traveling from one district to another, organizing large programs, training hundreds of volunteers, and speaking to crowds. People admired how he worked. He never complained. He never said, "I can't." He always showed up, ready to serve. Narendra became known for three things: strong discipline, clear communication, honest intention. He lived simply. No fancy clothes, no comfort, no luxury. His life was about purpose and service. During this period, India was facing many social and political challenges. Many communities were struggling. People felt unheard. Leaders were not always close to the ground. But when Narendra visited villages, he sat with people on the floor, listened to their problems, and tried to find solutions. This created trust. Farmers trusted him. Small shopkeepers trusted him. Teachers trusted him. Even people who didn't know him personally respected his attitude. Narendra Modi wasn't a famous name yet, but he was becoming an important force in the background. One day, senior leaders called him for a special meeting. They told him that they had been watching him closely. They saw his dedication, discipline, and leadership. They believed he could handle much bigger responsibilities at a national level. Narendra felt surprised, even a little nervous. He had never imagined reaching so far. He had only wanted to serve quietly. But life was offering him a new path, a chance to change more lives, to help more people, to make a bigger impact. After thinking deeply, he accepted the challenge. He moved to a new city. He took on new roles. He began working with national leaders, planning strategies, training large teams, and traveling across the country. Slowly, Narendra Modi was no longer just a local volunteer. He was becoming a national organizer, a man with a growing voice and influence. But the journey was only beginning. Bigger challenges, bigger responsibilities, and historic decisions were waiting for him in the years ahead. As Narendra Modi took on national responsibilities, his life changed completely. He now traveled across India, north, south, east, west, meeting people from every background. Big cities, small towns, remote villages. He saw everything. He listened to farmers struggling with low income. He heard workers talk about unfair treatment. He met students who wanted better schools. He spoke to mothers who wished for safer neighborhoods. Every story touched him. Every problem felt personal. He realized that the country needed stronger leadership, clearer direction, and deeper honesty. He wanted to bring positive change, step by step. During this time, Narendra worked with senior leaders closely. He learned how political decisions were made, how development projects started, and how governments functioned. He watched, listened, and absorbed everything like a sponge. His dedication impressed everyone. He worked long hours, often sleeping very little. He traveled by bus, train, and sometimes by foot to reach remote places. He spoke to thousands of people, motivating them to be united and strong. The more he visited communities, the more people appreciated his sincerity. He didn't speak like a traditional politician. He spoke like a common man who understood real pain. Slowly, his name began spreading across the country. "Who is this man?" people asked. "He works all day. He listens to everyone. He never gives up." Narendra's leadership continued to grow. After many years of national work, something big happened. Senior leaders invited him again, this time with a historic decision. They believed Narendra Modi was ready for an even greater responsibility, to lead the entire state of Gujarat. This was not a small role. It was a high position with huge challenges. Gujarat had millions of people. The state needed better development, stronger economy, safer communities, and faster progress. The responsibility was enormous. Narendra thought deeply. He remembered his days at the tea stall. He remembered his parents' struggles. He remembered sleeping on train platforms, traveling alone, searching for purpose. Now life was giving him a chance to serve on a big level. Finally, he accepted the role. In 2001, Narendra Modi became the Chief Minister of Gujarat. It was the biggest turning point in his life. From a small-town boy to a national leader, his journey was entering a new chapter, one filled with pressure, responsibility, and opportunity. And the world was about to notice him. Becoming the chief minister of Gujarat was the biggest responsibility Narendra Modi had ever accepted. It was like stepping onto a huge stage where millions of people were watching him. Some believed in him, some doubted him, and many were simply waiting to see what he would do. But Narendra Modi was not afraid of hard work. From his first day in office, he focused on one thing: how can I improve people's lives? He held long meetings, studied reports, and traveled to every corner of the state. He wanted to understand the real problems directly from the people, not from papers, not from reports, but from the voices of the common man, fixing what was broken. Gujarat had many challenges. Some villages didn't have clean water. Some roads were broken. Some families had no electricity. Schools needed teachers. Hospitals needed better care. Narendra didn't waste time. He created teams, set clear goals, and checked their progress again and again. He said, "If we work with honesty and speed, we can change Gujarat." Slowly, things began to improve. Roads were repaired. Electricity reached more homes. Farmers got better support. New schools and colleges were built. Industries began to grow. People saw the difference. For the first time in many years, they felt hope, meeting people face to face. Narendra Modi also did something unusual for a leader. He traveled constantly, from big cities to the smallest, most hidden villages. He talked to thousands of people, sometimes sitting with them under trees or outside their homes. He listened more than he spoke. He wrote down problems. He gave instructions on the spot. People felt connected to him. He understands us, they said. He listens to us. He works for us. A leader during hard times. During his early years as chief minister, Gujarat faced natural disasters, especially terrible floods and heavy rains. Many people lost homes, crops, and loved ones. It was a heartbreaking time. But Narendra did not sit in his office. He went to the affected areas, stood with the people, and worked day and night to help them. He made sure rescue teams, doctors, and food supplies reached every family. His leadership during difficult moments made him even stronger in the eyes of the people. Growth and recognition. Within a few years, Gujarat changed. The state became known for development, industry, and new opportunities. Companies started investing. Students got better education. Roads became smoother. Electricity became reliable. People from other states began visiting Gujarat to see how things were improving so fast. And everywhere people said the same thing: Modi works hard. Modi delivers. The boy who once served tea at a small train station was now leading millions of people and earning their trust through hard work, speed, and honesty. But his journey was far from over. A bigger responsibility, a bigger stage, and a historic moment was waiting for him in the future. By the time Narendra Modi had spent several years as the chief minister of Gujarat, something big was happening across India. People from different states, north, south, east, west, began hearing his name. They heard about Gujarat's new roads. They heard about better electricity. They heard about new industries and jobs. They heard about faster development and clean administration. Newspapers wrote about him. TV channels talked about him. Students discussed him in classrooms. Farmers spoke about him in the fields. Narendra Modi was no longer just a state leader. He was becoming a national figure. Invitations from everywhere. Universities invited him to speak. Business groups asked him to attend meetings. Young people followed his speeches online. Wherever he went, crowds gathered. They wanted to hear him speak, not because he used difficult words, but because he spoke simply, honestly, and confidently. He talked about dreams. He talked about discipline. He talked about development and change. People liked his story. A poor boy who worked at a tea stall, rising through hard work and dedication. His life became an example that anyone from any background could rise in society if they never gave up. Growing expectations. As his popularity grew, people began to wonder, can this man do for India what he did for Gujarat? Can he bring the same energy, speed, and honesty to the whole country? Can he lead India toward a better future? These questions spread everywhere. Homes, offices, markets, tea shops, and social gatherings. Slowly, a new idea began to take shape in people's minds. Maybe Narendra Modi could become the leader of the entire nation. A turning point. During one large national meeting, senior leaders discussed the future of the country. They talked about the challenges India was facing: slow development, job shortages, corruption, and a need for stronger leadership. Many leaders looked toward Narendra Modi. They admired his work. They trusted his discipline. They respected his results. At the end of the long discussion, something historic happened. The senior leaders decided Narendra Modi should be the candidate for Prime Minister of India. This was a turning point not only in his life, but in the history of the entire nation. When Narendra heard the news, he did not feel proud or arrogant. He felt responsible. He felt the weight of millions of dreams on his shoulders. He remembered his childhood. He remembered selling tea at the station. He remembered his family's struggles. He remembered his journey across India as a young man searching for purpose. Now the purpose was clear: to serve the people of India at the highest level, beginning the national campaign. Soon, Narendra Modi began traveling across the country again. But this time, it was even bigger. He visited huge cities, tiny villages, remote areas, and crowded markets. Everywhere he went, thousands of people gathered. Some climbed trees just to see him. Some walked miles to hear him. Some carried posters with messages of hope. His campaign was filled with energy, music, speeches, and emotion. He promised development. He promised honesty. He promised a strong and united India. Millions of people believed in him. The boy from Vadnagar was now standing on the biggest stage of his life, and the world was watching. The national election was one of the biggest in India's history. Millions of people stood in long lines under the hot sun to cast their vote. Old people, young people, workers, students, mothers, fathers, everyone came with hope in their eyes. Narendra Modi continued traveling, speaking, and meeting people until the very last day. He gave hundreds of speeches, shook thousands of hands, and listened to countless stories. He was tired, but he never stopped. He knew the future of the nation depended on this moment. The results day. When the election results finally came, the entire country waited in front of TVs and radios. Streets were quiet. Markets slowed down. Offices paused work. Everyone wanted to know who would lead India next. Slowly, the numbers began to appear. 1 result, 2 results, 10 results. Everywhere, one name kept showing up: Narendra Modi. People shouted with joy. Supporters celebrated in villages, towns, and cities. Fireworks lit the sky. Drums played in the streets. Families hugged each other. The final results were historic. Narendra Modi had won a massive victory, one of the biggest in modern Indian history. He was chosen to become the Prime Minister of India. The boy who once served tea at a small train station now held the highest position in the nation. It was a moment that proved that dreams, when combined with hard work and discipline, can become reality. A humble reaction. When Narendra Modi heard the final results, he didn't celebrate loudly. Instead, he closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and whispered a prayer of thanks. He remembered his mother. He remembered his father. He remembered the small tea stall. He remembered the nights when he slept on train platforms. He remembered his long journey across India searching for a purpose. He remembered every challenge, every struggle, every moment of doubt. Tears rolled down his face, not because of victory, but because of the weight of responsibility he now carried. He said, "This victory is not mine. It belongs to the people of India." Addressing the nation, that evening, Narendra Modi addressed the nation. His voice was calm but full of emotion. He said, "I will work for every Indian. I will serve the poor. I will make India stronger. I belong to the people, and the people belong to me." Millions watched him on TV. Some cried with happiness. Some smiled with hope. Some prayed for the future. Everyone felt that a new chapter was beginning, the beginning of a new era. Soon after, Narendra Modi traveled to New Delhi, the capital of India. There, he took the oath of office. Leaders from around the world watched. News channels everywhere reported the moment. India now had a new prime minister, a man who came from the bottom, rose through hard work, and carried the dreams of 1 billion people. His journey was long, emotional, and unbelievable, but his work was just beginning. A new India was waiting. A new responsibility was calling, and Narendra Modi was ready to lead. Narendra Modi's journey from a small-town boy to the Prime Minister of India was complete, but his work had only begun. Being the leader of 1 billion people was not easy. Every decision mattered. Every action affected millions of lives. He remembered his early days, selling tea at a small stall, walking miles to school, traveling across India, helping communities, and working in Gujarat. Those experiences taught him discipline, patience, and the value of hard work. Now, he used everything he had learned to serve the nation, focusing on development. One of his main goals was development for all. He worked on building better roads, bridges, and railways, improving electricity and water supply in villages, creating jobs and encouraging businesses, supporting farmers and workers, making education and healthcare better for everyone. He believed that India could become strong only when every citizen had opportunities to grow. Connecting with the people. Narendra Modi never forgot his roots. Even as Prime Minister, he traveled across India constantly. He spoke directly to the people, visited villages, and listened to their problems. He wanted to understand the real issues, not just read reports from offices. He also used technology to reach more people. Radio, TV, and social media became tools to communicate his vision. Millions of people followed him, not only for leadership, but also for hope and inspiration. Facing challenges. Leading a country was not easy. He faced criticism, obstacles, and challenges from every side. Some people doubted him. Some people opposed him. Some problems seemed impossible to solve. But Narendra remembered one lesson from his childhood. Work hard, stay focused, never give up. He made tough decisions when necessary, always thinking about the future of the country, inspiring a new generation. Perhaps one of his greatest achievements was inspiring young people. Many children who grew up hearing his story began believing that hard work, discipline, and determination could change lives. They saw that even a boy from a small town could rise to the top through honesty and service. Narendra Modi became more than a leader. He became a symbol of hope, courage, and perseverance. A journey full circle. From selling tea at a small station in Vadnagar to leading India on the world stage, Narendra Modi's journey shows that dreams are possible if you work hard. Challenges teach you strength. Service to people is a true path to leadership. Even today, he continues to serve with dedication, carrying the lessons of his past and the hopes of millions for the future. And so, the boy from Vadnagar became a man who changed a nation, not through luck, not through power, but through hard work, honesty, and a desire to help others. His story reminds everyone, no matter where you come from, with courage and dedication, you can achieve anything.